The slap echoed through the quiet street like a gunshot. For a second, even the wind seemed to stop. I stood frozen on my porch, one hand on my cheek, feeling the burning sting where Karen's palm had landed. But what made my blood boil wasn't the pain. It was the smirk she wore as she stood there, in front of the police officers who had just watched her assault me. I should have known the morning would spiral. Karen had been circling my house like a hawk all week. She was the self-appointed queen of our HOA, the kind of woman who wore sunglasses even on cloudy days and treated every neighbor like they lived on her property. And when she knocked on my door that morning, her clipboard was tucked under her arm like a weapon. I opened the door calmly, still in my work shirt, coffee steaming in my hand. "Mr. Turner," she snapped, her tone sharp enough to cut glass, "your porch railing is 2 inches higher than the HOA guidelines allow. We've given you 3 notices. If it's not fixed immediately, we'll issue a lien." I sighed. "Karen, the porch railing hasn't changed in 10 years. You're just trying to—" "Rules are rules," she interrupted, raising her voice like she was addressing a criminal. I kept my composure. "Karen, I already spoke with the city inspector. It's up to code. You can't just—" Before I could finish, she pulled out her phone, pretending to record me, and hissed, "We'll see what the cops say about this." 15 minutes later, 2 officers arrived. I actually felt relieved. I thought surely with the law here, her nonsense would finally end. But what I didn't expect was the way Karen's performance would escalate. She stormed onto my porch like it was her stage. "Officer, he threatened me. He's being aggressive. Look at how unsafe this porch is," she cried, dramatically touching the railing like it might collapse. I raised both hands. "I've done nothing wrong. Everything here is up to code. She's harassing me." The officers exchanged a look. They'd clearly seen this kind of neighborhood drama before. One of them said, "Ma'am, calm down. We're here to talk this out." But Karen didn't calm down. She stepped closer, way too close, jabbing a finger in my face. "This isn't over. You think you can ignore the HOA? You think you can ignore me?" "Back up, Karen," I warned, my voice steady. "You're trespassing." And then it happened. Out of nowhere, she raised her hand and slapped me. Hard. The officers immediately stepped in, hands going to their belts. Karen froze, realizing what she'd just done in front of law enforcement. But instead of apologizing, she stammered, He provoked me." "He's dangerous." I could see it in the officer's eyes. She'd just made a fatal mistake. One officer gently guided me aside, checking my cheek. The other turned to Karen, his tone cold now. "Ma'am, you just assaulted him in front of 2 witnesses. Put your hands behind your back." The color drained from her face. "Wait, you can't arrest me. I'm on the board. This is my neighborhood." "Not anymore," the officer replied. "You have the right to remain silent." As they cuffed her right there on my porch, neighbors started peeking out their windows. Phones were recording. Her kingdom was crumbling in real time. I stood there, feeling the sting on my cheek, but it was nothing compared to the sense of long-awaited justice warming my chest. She had spent years harassing families in this neighborhood, bullying, fining, threatening. But now the queen had fallen from her throne. Later that week, I got a call from the HOA. Karen had been removed from the board pending legal charges. Several neighbors came over to thank me. Apparently, I wasn't the only one she'd bullied, but I was the first to finally hold her accountable in front of witnesses. One woman, Mrs. Adams, an elderly widow down the street, grabbed my hand with tears in her eyes. "She's been terrorizing us for years," she whispered. "You did what none of us could." It took a single slap to expose years of abuse, and it wasn't the pain that stuck with me. It was the message. Sometimes when someone keeps pushing and pushing, the universe gives them just enough rope to hang themselves. Karen's charges were later filed, and a restraining order was placed. She had to sell her house and move away. The neighborhood slowly began to heal, and for the first time in years, people felt free to sit on their porches again without worrying about fines or threats. As for me, I replaced the railing, not because I had to, but because I wanted to add something new to my porch. A small brass plaque that read, "Stand your ground. Bullies fall when truth stands tall." That slap didn't break me. It built the wall that finally protected us all.